The CNN podcast is brought to you by Hyundai, the thoughtful car company.
Okay, podcasters, Robin Meade here. What do we have in store for you today? Well, first of all, I'm going to take you around some corners here at CNN to see some of the relics and artifacts from our years of news coverage.
This is the four-wire that allowed CNN to be the only network to cover Operation Desert Storm live.
Now that it's over, we can laugh about tax time, right? Well, I'm going to show you some of your best stories that are tax related. As a charter boat captain, I get to deduct sunscreen and swimsuits. And then I don't know what's worse, getting a pat down at the airport or getting a whole body scan. I'll tell you more about that. But first, I was surprised by the reaction of our viewers on one aspect of the fallout from the Virginia Tech shootings. Now on the show, we featured one of the survivors and the way that she's still traumatized.
I wish that, this hadn't happened to anyone, but now that it has, I would like to think about it as, something that I've grown from, hopefully become a better person, hopefully appreciate my life more and understand how easily it could have been taken away.
Now get this, she is a student who played dead when the shooter walked into her classroom. I can't imagine what some of these survivors are having to go through. Now on the show, we asked the viewers, because there's just a big debate right now about whether guns should be allowed, whether if a student has a lethal weapon, it would thwart a shooting like that. Should people with concealed gun permits be allowed to bring guns on campuses? So far, listen, 80% say yes, you should be allowed to carry a gun on campus. 20% say no. Some people say that the only way that you can stop a campus shooter is to have a lethal weapon yourself. That's the argument on that side. The other side says no way, that's a recipe for disaster. Right now, 8 different states are considering such legislation, allowing guns on campus. And I can tell you, looking at my notes here, that Utah, Colorado, and Virginia already allow it. Deduction. Oh, I know it's been more than just a few days since you finished your taxes. I hope anyway. Now, you're not going to find me looking down my nose at you if you waited until the last minute. We did as well. But we did get some funny stories from some of the viewers when we said, tell us your most interesting tax-related story. Maybe it's an interesting deduction, wink, wink. Maybe it's a great lesson learned. Barry in Kentucky emailed us saying, I was working the window at the U.S. Postal Service as the clock ticked down until the last 60 seconds until the deadline, and a gentleman came to the counter, plopped down his W-2s, 1099s, receipts, etc., and stated proudly, "Here's my info. I made it before midnight. Get started. I'll go get a cup of coffee." Captain Scott in Key West says, as a charter boat captain, I get to deduct sunscreen and swimsuits on my taxes. I guess you would. Eva from Hawaii writes, young and naive, I decided to declare myself exempt from paying taxes one year. Why? Because I didn't know any better. Uncle Sam caught me, and I had to pay back about $7,000. Oopsie. The truth is, the only reason that my husband wanted to have lunch with me on tax day was to have me sign a bunch of forms. He filed an extension, so we didn't have lunch. We are here in the CNN atrium. A lot of school groups and families come here for vacation, their spring break. Maybe you just got back from spring break. Me too. Sitting on a beach chair in Jamaica pretty much explains my activity for the week. Now, I did want to share some video with you of some daring cliff divers we came across and some familiar faces as well. Monday you're in Jamaica on vacation. I thought I'd just kind of give you a little look, right? And lo and behold, you cannot get away from CNN or people at CNN. Now, I love these people. I don't really want to get away from them, but look at this. We think we're all alone. There's John. Works at Southeast Bureau. There's Julie. On-air Weather Channel person. And there's my husband. What are you doing? back hallways here at CNN, and I wanted to show you some of the artifacts we have sitting around here from some of the old news stories. This is John. He's one of the supervisors with the CNN tour, and he knows about all this stuff. John, tell me about that big old camera.
This is one of the original field production units that they used back in the day. You can see this huge battery belt that weighs about 30 pounds that the journalists had to lug around, these big bulky cameras, and the tape deck that they would have kind of strapped around their shoulders before we had the digital technology.
Let me show you how small. Obviously you know, because you probably have some cameras similar to this at home, or you've seen it used yourself. So you know how small they are now. They used to be like what, 40, 50 pounds? Who knows? This is a part of the Berlin Wall. That's fascinating. Tell me about this jacket.
Well, this is the jacket that Peter Arnett wore during Operation Desert Storm, and cut away in the lining, we had over $100,000 stashed inside of his jacket, so he could use that money to travel around the country, and it was hidden out of view, and he used that to be able to eat and have shelter while he was traveling around Iraq covering the first Gulf War. This is the four-wire that allowed CNN to be the only network to cover Operation Desert Storm live. It's featured in the movie Live from Baghdad starring Michael Keaton. And through this four-wire, our reporters that were in Baghdad were able to communicate directly to Atlanta, and other networks started pulling the feed from CNN, and that's when the little news network became a household name.
This is CNN.
Here at CNN, I think we have really great security. Everything from wonderful security guards, state-of-the-art face recognition system, metal detectors, but even they don't go as far as some of the airports are going right now with these full-body imaging machines. Now, one of our reporters recently went through one of these machines to show us what the TSA will see. Can I just say that there were some distinct outlines, if you know what I mean?
I step just in front of the machine, turn around. In just a few seconds, the monitor displays my humble contours. Now in this test, I'm playing the role of a would-be terrorist. I try to hide a plastic lipstick container in my vest pocket. Busted.
Well, now 2 more airports are getting those full-body scans. Now, we said this on the show, but check out the talk after the story about getting seen. They say that they pixelate your face and they don't save the images. I'm sorry, I don't feel any better about it.
I got no problem with it personally.
Really?
Whatever. Yeah.
It's either that or get felt up. You choose.
It's either way. You're gonna get violated, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The TNA is gonna get TSA is gonna get you.
Oh!
Anyway.
Alrighty, so hope you like that podcast. Every day we try to think of something different for it. Meanwhile, I'll see you tomorrow morning on the show, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. Mwah.